some cool stuff happened this week. So, hi everybody, Ralph Havens here, autoimmuneanswers.com. And today's session, I learn a lot from the people I work with, the people I talk to, the people I interact with, and some stuff came up this week that's really cool, and it showed me how important it is to clear a limiting belief that's in the way of getting what you want in life. And a lot of us that have studied this law of attraction kind of stuff and The Secret have known this. It's like how you think and how you feel and how you believe really does run a lot of the programs of how you go along in life. How life goes, how much money you make, how much impact you have, what you get to do in the world, how happy you are, and your health and your money and your relationships. But the thing is, how do you shift something, especially if something happened early in life and got you? So, I've been studying this kind of stuff for quite a while. I've been doing medical intuitive and healing work really for the past 34 years. I started off as a physical therapist and then took many classes with medical intuitives, and that's what I do. And what I noticed is these thoughts and beliefs and ways we feel about ourselves and about the world can show up in really funny ways. So I had somebody that I was working with this week, and I won't give you real specifics because of keeping it confidential, but they talked about this big life they were working towards and getting, excuse me, and part of it was there's a beautiful house that in the perfect neighborhood that would just make it so perfect for them. Big, beautiful house. And it would also be kind of like a symbol that, wow, it worked. All the business things and all the ideas and everything worked. And they could really live the way they want to live and do what they want to do. And then this person said something about like, well, but we don't really need this much of a house and this much of a rich house. And she said a few things like that. And so it drew my attention because it was like, oh, there's some gold there. Because like, why wouldn't you want that? It would be perfect. And so no big deal, no judgment. And but then how do you fix it, right? Like, how do you change that belief so that having that kind of abundance is not only okay, it's like very cool and everything's congruent with that. And so, that would be cool to find out how to fix it. And even energetic people and spiritual people can have this kind of pattern running. I was taking a class from an amazing healer, medical intuitive, taught me so much over so many years. And during one of the classes, this person was talking, this healer teacher was talking about a device that you put on your head, and it runs some sort of electrical pattern and it shifts things, and then you're much more connected to spirit and God and clairvoyant, and all these channels open up. And so he was talking on and on and on about this thing that he bought and that he was using, and it was a group of about 500 people. And then so people, of course, in the audience started asking all these questions about, well, what is it? What's it called? And how do you get it? And what's the best one to get? And I want to make sure I get the right one. And so he was like getting a little frustrated. He goes, it costs $700. It's kind of expensive and you don't really need it. And my friend who was sitting right next to me said, look, did you just hear what he said? He just installed a limiting belief. He kind of exposed a limiting belief that he had for himself, that $700 for this thing that does amazing things, it's just kind of too expensive. So whether somebody buys it or doesn't buy it, that's not so much the question, right? It's more like, oh, that belief that's just too much to spend on something. So no big deal. You don't want to, you can spend whatever you want and do whatever you want. I just thought about a little belief that showed up for me that you don't want to go and live in excess, but it's like, oh, is there a little belief in there that's running a really weird pattern that's keeping abundance from flowing? And so what I found over the last year or so was a way to go right to that belief and then dismantle it. let it run itself out, let it go, boom, it's done. And then you can live in a different way where your reality shows you that you are abundant and you can have what you want. And these beliefs aren't stopping you from having a big life. And so when I first found it, I saw it and it was too simple. I thought, no, it's too simple. Yeah, I'm so much more advanced with all my skills and all my training. I've studied for, 30, at the time, 30 something years, 32 or 3 years. And with all these medical intuitives, and I've got lots of advanced skills. And yes, that's very sweet, but it's just too simple. And then I kept hearing about it. And it was from a guy that had gone from food stamps to making a lot of money, helping a lot of people. And so I kept hearing about it and kept going, man, that's just interesting. And so I started using it. I got the training, started studying it, started doing it every day. It's when Jen told me, hey, what are you doing? Because this is actually working. And we were getting our message out to the world in a bigger way and having a bigger impact, having a lot more fun. Money was flowing in a much better way. And I was like, I'm just doing this really simple thing. But the funny thing is, it's kind of like our Qigong teacher, Ming Tong, says, healing is simple, but it's very hard. Healing is simple, but it's very hard. And so our minds can get in the way, and we can think that we're not doing something important enough. And we can miss a very simple way, profound way to clear stuff that's really in the way. And so it can take some guidance, because it's easy to get off track with this very simple technique because it's so simple. It's easy to miss. And so that's what I started using. And my clients started telling me things like, oh, this is really an old technique. This is a very old yogi technique or a Zen technique. And then this one guy told me that he used it to clear his fear of heights. He didn't tell me he used this. He just told me what he was using. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the same technique. And so it's what I use every day. I just did about 45 minutes of it. And it's very profound. Now, you still have to do things in the physical world, of course, to get things done, to make things happen. But wouldn't it be cool to not have a limiting belief that's making it so hard to make things happen in the physical world? So I've got that for you, and I want to give it to you, and I will. I also have a live call that I'm doing this next Sunday as part of our Enlighten Up and Get What You Want masterclass. It's a group of people from all over the world that are studying this way of doing things and much more in the Enlighten Up and Get What You Want masterclass. And this Sunday is a live call. And there's more information for that if you want. But right now what I'm talking about is this way to start to really dive into this technique, this thing, and start to get it. So I've got 2 PDFs that I made, and a video training series that I did from one of our other group live calls, The Miracles, Magic, Healing, and More. And we used it with great success. It was really fun to do. And I have a whole hour plus training so you can go through and really get it and not miss this simple and profound way to do it. So you can get it at ralphhavens.com/enlighten up, www.ralphhavens.com/enlighten up. And then there'll be information about all the other ways to interact, including the live call this Sunday. So let me know what your vision is, what you would like to create, and see if you start finding things that you say and things that you think that you can catch yourself and go, oh, wow, there's a limiting belief in there. And then if you want, try this technique out, and but do it just precisely how simple and profound it is. And if you want any more help, let me know. All right, everybody, have a great Friday, and I will see you all tomorrow.